everybody! So today I'm going to be demoing the Flawless 4. So the Flawless 4 includes your primer, your concealer, your foundation, and your foundation brush. So that makes 1, 2, 3, and 4 products. That's why it's called the Flawless 4. So the first step before doing anything makeup-wise is you want to moisturize your face. So I'm just going to use the Divine Moisturizer by Younique. So just go ahead, put some on your index finger, and you're going to spread it between 3 fingers, dab those 3 together so it's now on your 3 main, and just put it all over your face to moisturize it. Moisturizer is very important prior to makeup application because that's going to hydrate the skin so it doesn't feel so dry. Here we go. So first product is your primer. When you first get it brand new, you do have to use scissors to clip the end off so that it opens up the hole. You just go ahead and put a little bit on your index finger and do the same thing as you did with your moisturizer. Dab it between your 3 fingers, put the 3 together, and spread it across your face. Now you want to focus on the areas that you have the biggest pores. So the nose is the most common with most people. So just focus in that area. So what the primer does is it goes into the pores and seals the hole so that when you put your foundation on, it doesn't get that cakey look because it's going into the pores. It just allows all of the products above it to just smooth across. So after I put it on my whole face, I do add a little bit more just to focus on the areas that have the biggest pores on top of that. So I'm going to put a little bit more on my nose. Maybe a little bit in the chin and in the little cheek area. Spread a little bit above the forehead. So any areas that you might get that cakey look when you put on foundation is where you want to focus your primer on. There we go. So now that that's on there, I'm going to use my concealer. And what I do, you can put it on your finger first and then dab it underneath the eye area or wherever you have redness. I'm just going to use the tip and just add a little bit on each side. Looks like I'm going to the football field. So now I'm going to use my beauty blender and I'm going to use the tip part, the pointy end, and I'm just going to dab that in there. You can use your finger if you want, if you don't have a beauty blender, or you can use a concealer brush as well. Just if you're using a beauty blender, make sure you wet it first, which I already did prior to the video. And do the same on the other side, just blend it in. So when you put concealer on, you want to create a triangle. So I'm dabbing downwards and I'm creating a triangle look. And I'm just going to go grab my concealer brush and I'm going to show you the difference of using a beauty blender versus a concealer brush. Okay, so if you're going to use the concealer brush, I'm just going to put some here. So concealer brush for under eye area is a small flat brush. So what you're going to do is you're going to dab it in and you're going to create that triangle look. You can combine it. You can use your concealer brush and then use the beauty blender just to push it inwards, which is what I generally do if I do pull out the concealer brush. I just like how the beauty blender just seems to smooth it out and it actually pushes it more into the pores. So you can either keep dabbing with the concealer brush and blend the concealer in, or you can go to the beauty blender and just push it in, which I find is faster and it does help the makeup to set better. There we go. So I find comparing the two, this one was just the Beauty Blender and this one was the concealer brush and the Beauty Blender. I find it does give more coverage just because by doing the brush it actually focuses on getting you that full triangle before blending it into the eye. Okay, so once that is on, the next step is your foundation. So for those that watched my previous video, before using it, you do want to empty out what's left out of the tube. Dip it in, shake it up, and then open it back up and go and grab some foundation. That way you're not stuck with a bunch of runny liquid. It gives you that thicker consistency. So you put 3 dots on your brush. So you're gonna do 1, 2, 3. You can put 4 if you have skin that needs more coverage. So there's the 4 dots, and you're just gonna go ahead and dab it throughout the face. So dab it around. And dab, 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 just to give the dots all over. And then you're just going to do circular motions to blend it in. Now if you find that didn't give you enough coverage, like if you do have very red skin or maybe some scarring, you can add a couple more drops after you do your first coat if you want even more coverage. And down the neck. And I like to just blend it in a little bit with the concealer, where I use the same color for the concealer and the foundation. If you go a shade lighter for your concealer so that you get a highlighting look, you might not want to cover it up with the foundation, but you can blend it in the triangle area. So you would just dab around it lightly, going back and forth, just to blend in the 2 colors. There we go. So my foundation and concealer's done. If you do proceed to do your eye makeup, another trick that I do with the foundation is just take a little bit of the excess that's on the actual stick. Just put it on your ring finger. Put your 2 ring fingers together like this. And just dab a little bit on your eyelid and blend it in. And that way your eyelids are going to be the same color as the rest of your face, and you're not going to get a reddish look, or if you have veiny eyelids, it'll get rid of that difference between the face and then your eyes. And then if you're to do your eyeshadow, you would just use your primer in there as well. If your primer isn't already a beige looking color, some are clear, so you'd want to make sure that you put your foundation as your base. There we go, flawless 4 ladies. So I hope this helped you guys a little bit with how it works and a couple tips and tricks about it. Leave some comments below if there's certain things you'd like to know, or if you have some questions about it, I would be glad to answer them for you. Love you guys.